We want to begin now with some breaking news. Rapper Lil Durk is charged in a for hire plot.
Lil Durk's real name is Durk Bank, and he is from Chicago. This is his mugshot from Florida, where he was arrested last night.
Reports say Lil Durk was recently targeted while in jail, where authorities placed him in solitary confinement after a correctional officer allegedly found a cell phone hidden in a cell.
They got Lil Durk in a hole for basically some BS. And right now we're going to show the paperwork. They saying that he was caught with a cell phone, and basically that's not true. They trying to keep him in a hole, do a lot of things that they shouldn't be doing or whatever, but they trying to make a point because they saying that me and him is privileged and we got so many things going on, and it's a lot of BS.
An inmate close to Lil Durk is claiming the feds planted the phone on him, insisting they're just trying to make his time behind bars harder. But there's more to the story. Reports say Durk was also involved in a jail altercation earlier today, which led Lil Baby to post on Twitter, "I don't care about nothing else other than Durk right now. Free the bro." The timing is raising eyebrows. Just as the news broke, Durk's associate Glee was reported dead in Chicago, fueling suspicions that his circle is being deliberately targeted. Fans quickly connected dots, pointing out that both Quando Rondo and his best friend Lil Tim did interviews on the exact same day. For those who may have forgotten, Quando and Tim were involved in the confrontation that ended Kingpin's life. Now, with Durk facing charges tied to allegedly ordering a hit on Quando's close friend Lil Pab, the situation looks even more volatile. Some are wondering if revenge is being plotted, and whether this latest trouble in jail is part of a much larger cycle of retaliation. When you did finally find out that it was King Von, how'd you feel?
I was like, damn. If Brian did that stupid shit last night, he still would have been alive. That's how I was. But I was like, yeah, I ain't no the type person I am. Like, I'm a humble person. I ain't no disrespect to like his mama saying f him and shit like that. Cause I could easily get on that type of stuff and be clout chasing type. Like, I ain't on that type. I'm a humble person, but it's like, they ain't never popped that shit off. That would have never happened like that.
Quando Rondo echoed those same sentiments, admitting he wishes things had turned out differently. His words added another layer of tension to the situation, making fans question whether this was genuine regret or just a way to distance himself from the cycle of violence that's been following him and Durk's camp for years.
Whoever on my side, they got kids and a mama that 100% love them. And at the end of the day, bro, all this bull that we talking about is stupid. That could have been handled a totally different way. It could have been handled to the point where a song and $3-4 million could have came out or whatever. Like, it could have got handled in a legit way, in a music way.
But what is fans talking is the timing. It feels strange that Quando Rondo and his circle are suddenly pushing the "we only want peace" narrative right after news broke of Durk's jail incident. Many believe authorities acted quickly and harshly against Lil Durk precisely because of speculation that he was close to being released. Now, with Durk sitting in solitary, that release seems unlikely in the short term. Still, there's a glimmer of hope. Reports say Durk's father has spoken out, claiming his son could finally walk free on bond. This marks Durk's third attempt, and his legal team has reportedly crafted an offer so strong that sources suggest the judge may have no choice but to accept it.
Just left the courtroom for the bond hearing for my son for the release for the third time. This time it was very fair. The judge was very fair. He wasn't pro-prosecutor, he wasn't pro-defense, but he was pro-justice. So he listened to all the evidence, and he's gonna give a ruling in the next few days about what his position is for the bond. But we were very pleased at how it turned out. So continue, family, friends, and fans, continue to keep us in your prayers, and we thank you. And inshallah, God willing, this be victorious for us, that we have a good ruling in our favor.
Reports from today's hearing suggest things took an unexpected turn in Lil Durk's case. Prosecutors reportedly dropped key evidence against him, which could open the door for his release. In court, they even stated on record that they were willingly discarding parts of their case. What shocked many was how it played out. They read the evidence aloud before removing it, including lyrics they had once tried to use against Durk, according to people inside the courtroom. This moment sparked an intense reaction, with some attendees audibly shouting no as the prosecutors backed away from what was once a cornerstone of their argument.
The search is on for 3 people who police say at a Savannah rapper, a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles, and cameras captured the aftermath.
This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
Witnesses called it a shady move by the feds, announcing and reading out evidence in open court. only to toss it aside moments later. Many described it as deliberately humiliating, painting the moment as more about optics than justice. And of course, Charleston White didn't stay silent. He quickly jumped in to share his thoughts on Lil Durk's situation, adding his own sharp take to the already heated conversation surrounding the case.
This is a real victory. Now that demonic force was a dark force. It was a dark energy. I think we now finally get to put that fire out. I don't think we'll hear drill music ever again. I don't think drill rappers would ever be celebrated ever again. Down goes the drill. So this is a victory for law-abiding Americans who like hip-hop music but don't like the killing part of it.
Charleston White made it clear he's against the idea of Durk being released, openly criticizing the court's direction and calling it a mistake. His harsh stance fueled even more debate online, especially among fans who see this as a moment of hope for Durk. On the other hand, a professional lawyer weighed in with a very different perspective. According to him, the prosecutors dropping evidence is not a small gesture. It signals that their case may not be as solid as they once claimed. He explained that for prosecutors to willingly throw out material they previously relied on, it either means the evidence was improperly obtained, unreliable, or simply not strong enough to stand up in trial. Would you like me to blend Charleston's criticism with the lawyer's analysis into a polished news-style breakdown? So it sounds like a complete segment ready for narration?
Another allegation they backed away from, which is huge. It shows the weakening of the case. Previously, the prosecution had alleged that Durk paid the bounty for the through one of his co-defendants, and they named the co-defendant. Now they've backed off that allegation. They're not actually saying that Durk paid the bounty through the co-defendant or anyone else. And the fact that they're not saying that suggests that previously they thought they were going to be able to prove that he paid the bounty through this guy, and now they know we're not going to be able to prove that he paid the bounty through this guy.
It turned out to be a win for Durk when the feds dropped the lyric evidence against him, a move many felt was long overdue. His official lawyer, Drew Finling, didn't hold back either, openly stating that the charges against Durk are nothing more than a joke. That sharp dismissal from his own defense added weight to the idea that the case is starting to crumble, leaving fans wondering if Durk's freedom might finally be closer than ever. Do you want me to now tie all of this together into a full-flowing new style script that builds from the jail altercation to the dropped evidence and ends with his lawyer's strong statement?
The case is as follows. So there was an indictment that did not name him, right? It named others, and then there was an unindicted person. And then 3 weeks later, that indictment was what's called the first superseding indictment, and it does name him. The indictment was identical, except the unnamed person now became Durk Banks. And this is the really important part, Ack. The second indictment, what's called the first superseding indictment, only had one new fact. It had one new fact, and that was it alleged that there was a video by Durk that celebrated and monetized this.
A few days later, the judge finally made his ruling, but it wasn't the news Durk supporters were hoping for. Reports say the feds argued that for him to even be considered for bond, Durk would have to go broke and surrender much of his property. Their reasoning: they fear his wealth and influence could be used to put bounties on witnesses. Tipping the scales of justice outside the courtroom, this condition shocked many, framing Durk not only as a defendant, but as someone the government views as a direct threat to the integrity of the case. It leaves his future hanging in the balance, freedom technically possible, but only at the cost of everything he's built.
No bond for Lil Durk. Let me tell you about what options he has left and why the bond was denied this time. Now, he's in federal court on a murder for hire charge where he faces the possibility of life in prison. What that means is under the federal law, it is presumed that you do not get a bond because the charge and the penalty are so serious. So your lawyer has to go out there and show why you should get a bond. Now, ultimately, what the district judge decided to deny the bond on was a couple of factors. There's a couple $1 million being put up, but it's not all being put up by Durk. Some of it is from the label, and ultimately Durk has a lot more money and assets than what's being put up. So if I let him out on bond and he tries to flee, he's going to have tons of assets and money at his disposal.
One viral fan tweet flipped the whole conversation on its head. The tweet read, "If you think Durk was denied bond because he's rich, you know nothing about this case. Dave's brother just snitched." According to the claim, instead of going public, the feds are keeping it quiet to blindside Durk's lawyers. The twist comes with newly revealed body cam footage showing Ted, Dave's brother, practically begging to snitch, not just on Durk, but on other members as well. That revelation reportedly forced Durk's legal team to scramble, filing paperwork to extend the timeline on their bond proposal. But the biggest question still hangs in the air. What exactly did Ted tell the feds? His role is crucial because Ted isn't just some outsider. He's Dave's brother, a figure deeply tied into the F team. and police already caught him at a convenience store with a firearm tucked into his jeans pocket.
Really? Dude had a. What about that? A man had a with an extended clip. That's cool though, right?
As officers drove Ted to the station just moments before he was about to be processed into jail, he reportedly broke down. Desperate to avoid being locked up, he pleaded with the cops, saying, "I swear I'll tell you all about the passings." That statement alone turned heads. A clear sign that Ted was ready to trade information for leniency. It paints a picture of a man under pressure, caught between loyalty to the streets and his own freedom. And it may be exactly what prosecutors were waiting for, to strengthen their case against Durk. And this circle dot, do you want me to expand this into a tense cinematic courtroom news narration showing how Ted's words could flip the entire case upside down.
Come on. Hey, stop it. Stop it.
Sitting in the holding cell, Ted's desperation only grew. When an officer came by to speak with him, it became clear what he wanted: a deal. According to reports, Ted was eager to trade names, pointing fingers at the people he knew were tied to serious crimes, all in hopes of cutting himself free from the system. His only demand was simple: get him out of jail. In that moment, Ted wasn't thinking about loyalty, brotherhood, or the code of the streets. He was thinking about survival. His way out was to rat on anyone he could.
Wait, hold on, you gotta relax for me, because I can't understand it. Relax. What's the number? 779, what you saying, man? We're gonna see what we can do for you, alright? We're gonna see what we can do for you. You gotta relax for me.
Relax, man. I'm gonna get a bus to prison. Relax.
Give me No, I'm saying, what are you talking about? I'm trying to get that.
But once Ted's last name appeared in the official court paperwork, confusion exploded online. Many fans jumped to the conclusion that it was DD who had flipped, simply because the two share the same last name. The rumors only grew louder when whispers spread that Kingvin's cousin, Voni, might also be cooperating with authorities, though nothing about that has been confirmed. With speculation spiraling out of control, Durk's inner circle knew they had to step in. That's when his close friend Bezu took to Instagram Live, speaking directly to the fans. His message was clear: calm down, stop running with unverified rumors, and trust that Durk's people are standing strong through the chaos.
No more know what's going on, but them people that's in them courtrooms, man. For real. Them be false accusations. Y'all don't even know what the be going on, for real. Y'all really be trying to play Inspector Gadget and all this. Y'all just be weird as hell. That's what I be talking about, man. Like, first y'all that threw the jams rumors out there. Now y'all talking about Vonnie a snitch, gang. A snitch on what? Y'all don't even really know what's going on, for real. On my kids, y'all really just be running. And that's why I don't participate in nothing that got to do with nothing illegal. Because of you motherfuckers, y'all be trying to get them put under the jail.
In a shocking twist, it wasn't just rumors anymore. Vonnie's own father came forward and admitted his son had snitched. What stunned fans even more was how it came out. He didn't just confirm it in passing. He actually spoke about it during a conversation with DJ Academics, putting the rumors to rest in the most unexpected way. But the revelation didn't stop there. Vonnie's father went even further, allegedly leaking that his son had ties to the very tragedy that shook Durk's camp. The most, Kingvin's passing. That claim sent shockwaves through the community, leaving fans torn between disbelief, anger, and heartbreak.
I'm gonna give you this. It's a back door and I got all the pieces. That's all I'm gonna tell you. As Durk asked Vonnie, is it open? Vonnie told him it's off the hinges.
Wait. Are you talking about the Vaughn? Like King Vaughn?
Listen very carefully. When the payment was made to Little Tim, the next day or the same day, Durk asked Vonnie, was it open? This is what he asked him. Was it open? It was the exact words, was it open? He told him it's off the hinges.
Are you saying that Vonnie backdoor King Vaughn? No way. That was right here.
You heard what I just said. Guess what? You need motive first, right? Yeah. I got bankers that'll testify that or will make a contract or make a statement to you and let you know that this is the amount of money he had, this is what he had, this is that another. You need motive first and foremost. I got text messages from the lawyer letting you know that who told on Durk before, who told on Vaughn before he.
This revelation left DJ Academics visibly puzzled. Why would Durk ever want King Vaughn gone? Especially given how close they were publicly. But when you dig deeper, the pieces start to look different. At the time, both Vaughn and Durk were still tied together in a serious criminal case. That detail alone changes the perspective. With Vin's passing, the case quietly ended in a private settlement. For many watching closely, it raised the unsettling possibility that Durk could have shifted the blame onto Von posthumously, allowing the charges to fade away. It's a theory that fuels speculation. Was this just a tragic street feud that spiraled out of control? Or did Durk have a darker motive connected to his own legal battles?
Why would Durk want Von?
All right, man. Let me give you this. First of all, you didn't sign your rights over. You ain't in no 360 deal. First of all, you can't bring nobody into the business and they surpass you. How you bring me to the table when I pass you up? Don't nobody want their chief spot taken, do they?
That's an interesting
Dude was he was signing the boys. He was Vaughn wasn't no slack.
That's interesting. I did find out that Vaughn didn't have any contractual ties to Durk like that, which was interesting.
I mean, come on, man. He wasn't even signed to him. How's this his friend? He lied on Breakfast Club and said, "Hey, you think your man would be sitting here with $300,000 worth of jewelry on and he not have an attorney? He got a public defender."
A viral tweet added even more fuel to the fire, pointing out a chilling pattern. Then's dad leaking that Durk had Vaughn dealt with makes me wonder why Durk always hops on Instagram Live when someone close to him gets hit. He went live right after Vaughn, Lil Pab, and FBG Duck passed away. Fans have started to believe that Durk may be using Instagram Live as a calculated alibi, proof that he was busy online while violence unfolded in the streets. To them, it looks like a way to distance himself from any direct responsibility. And while it's never been proven, the speculation alone is enough to cast a shadow, with many now questioning whether Durk could have ordered these hits from behind the scenes. Meanwhile, Vonnie's father has made his anger crystal clear. He's upset his son turned federal, but in that same breath, he dropped an even bigger bombshell. Vonnie allegedly played a direct role in orchestrating the passings of both Lil Pab and King Von.
No, he ain't take my advice. He ain't respond no back to me because this is on a tablet. He on a jail tablet when I sent that to him. He ain't respond nothing else to him. I told you he can't take my advice because they playing. They made themselves get caught. This is what come along with it. They wanted to get caught. You understand me?
So, that's what you meant by trenches of paint. Okay.
What you mean trenches what?
Was it you that said that? With the whole narrative about Bonnie snitching with the text messages. Like, that's...
Yeah. I don't know who said that, but that was me.
Cause that was a focus. Everybody was trying to make it seem like that's what the text messages was about.
That's just saying what he finna cop out to and this, that, and and with me saying Vaughn, some people like, damn, what he gonna tell on some birds on Vaughn?
I ain't gonna lie, I said that in my video. I'm intrigued to know what the Vaughn name was for.
No, he ain't gonna tell him no Vaughn. You gonna tell it just like you orchestrated Lil Pab, you orchestrated this, and guess who you work for?
Vonnie's father, who comes straight from the streets, made it clear where he stands. If someone snitches, then you have every right to expose them. That's why he didn't hesitate to call out his own son for flipping on Durk. The streets took notice, and even King Vin's sister backed it up, confirming the rumors by posting. Durk's sister-in-law calls King Vin's cousin Vonnie a rat and snitch. This all circles back to why the feds are so worried about Durk's bond. The exact charge he's facing involves accusations of placing bounties. Prosecutors fear that if he's free, his money and reach could put witnesses in danger. And it's not just paranoia. Since Durk's arrest, whispers have spread that he may have already set another bounty in motion. One name stands out, Jam. He was one of the key snitchies in Durk's case, but fans have noticed he hasn't been seen or heard from in months. The silence is so loud that people online are openly asking, what happened to Jam? His disappearance becomes even more suspicious considering he was publicly labeled a rat. During an interview on DJ Vlad,
there's a guy named OTF Jam.
That was wired.
Very ironic name.
Jam got him
put
in
everyone
a
in a jam.
Did 12 years.
12
got
years.
Out, interviewed, said he kept it real, brought him cars, gave him 50,000.
Right.
This. Made mention that ain't no smut on his name. He ain't never been a rat. Caught a gun case, but eventually he flipped.
The Jam situation quickly spiraled into something darker. Reports surfaced that members of F tracked him down hiding in a crib just outside Atlanta. Word spread that Jam was punished for snitching on Durk, and even a photo from the spot where he'd been staying began circulating online. What makes this even more dangerous for Durk is how deeply Jam cooperated with authorities. According to insiders, Jam handed over more than 130 gigabytes of digital evidence. Everything from audio recordings to video clips, plus over 20,000 pages of detailed reports that prosecutors are now processing for discovery. But the revelations didn't stop there. A new court filing read, the feds believe Durk paid to get more people dealt with. The first was Stephen Mack, the same man, who had allegedly been involved in the death of Durk's brother, Thing. The second, even more shocking, was Jam's own baby mama, who authorities say Durk allegedly targeted after learning Jam had flipped. Prosecutors now claim Jam has the potential to put Durk away for all three crimes. And to make things worse, fans pointed out an odd Instagram live of Jam himself, where he kept fidgeting with his jacket in a way that made it seem like he might have been wearing a wire, possibly gathering even more evidence against Durk.
Hey, kid! Give me the check on your man. I heard you got his head. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, man. Hey, when I was growing up, I never having a dare. Architect. Having a dare.
At some point, Durk clearly caught wind that Jam was cooperating with the feds. In fact, many fans believe he basically gave it away himself during an interview, subtle as it was. The way he chose his words and the hints he dropped seemed to point directly at Jam's betrayal. To those who've been following closely, it wasn't just a casual slip. It was Durk signaling that he already knew someone in his circle had flipped, and he wasn't going to ignore it.
See from a mile away.
I don't think people realize that.
I could have a conversation with you for 5 seconds and know your car.
Although Durk said more in that interview, what stood out most was how his behavior changed afterward. The moment he realized people close to him were flipping, he immediately tightened up his security. He stopped moving the way he used to, kept his circle smaller, and even relocated to a new house. This time, he wasn't inviting anyone over. Not friends, not associates, no one. It was a clear sign Durk knew the walls were closing in, and that trust had become a luxury he couldn't afford anymore.
Nobody is ever allowed to my house. It be my best friend never been in my house.
For real?
I promise.
Your best friend?
I promise. Like, it's people like that I just don't allow around my girl and my kids. Cause it's like, I'm just a different type. I'm not the, we can have family night at Durk house tonight. It's the,
everybody at Durk's crib.
Yeah, we gotta, everybody getting watched. We gotta watch everybody. Hey, they go too close to them kids. You know what to do. Like, that's how I play. Like, I don't play. I see from a mile away.
I don't think people realize.
It's especially tragic for Durk because Jam wasn't just some random associate. He was someone Durk had once looked out for. Just a couple of years ago, Durk gave Jam $50,000 to help him get back on his feet, even offering him a place to stay when he had nowhere to go. That history makes Jam's betrayal cut even deeper. What was once loyalty and brotherhood has now turned into one of the most damaging flips against Durk, with the very man he helped now handing over evidence that could put him away for years.
What's his name, bro? Steady crying, huh? He's steady crying. Feed him. Feed him. Get in the milk, bro. Get in the milk so baby mama get the tripping, bro.
You see that?
Feed
for my
him.
baby. That's really how y'all hold y'all babies, ain't it? I gotta hold my money like this. It's too much. Crazy though. My sitting up there doing all this. Sneak this and the internet games and all this. Up some money, do something. Like, we winning, bro. I can do whatever it is I want to do, I can do it. Buy what I want, do what I want. Y'all can't do that, bro. Goof.
Bro got out what?
You know that
How many you did all?
How many years I did it now?
Yeah. That's your leg bit. 12?
12.
That boy popped out 12 years.
Yeah.
So much money. We really just get in order to just figure out the lanes, man, boy.
What makes the situation even stranger is the Instagram Live itself. Viewers noticed that some of the people lingering in the background looked eerily similar to the same suspects tied to Lil Pab's murder. Even more suspicious, those very same faces had once been seen hanging around, and even going shopping with Vaughn back in the day. To many, that connection made things crystal clear. Lil Pab's death wasn't some random act of violence. It was a planned hit, orchestrated by people who had already been moving in Durk and been circled for years. The overlap is too precise to ignore, and it adds yet another layer of suspicion to a case that already feels like it's spiraling out of control.
Solitary
Hey,
stone.
we just looked at him.
Let's go over there.
What up, bro?
Boss, you good? My boy. Let's go.
They got real in here, man, because he just stepped in. The money man just stepped in.
To tie Durk to the Stephen Mack case, investigators point to something chilling: his own Instagram activity. On the very day Stephen was killed, Durk reportedly posted a story that read for Thing, seemingly framing it as revenge for his brother's passing. What raised even more suspicion was what followed. Just one day later, Durk was back on Instagram, this time laughing in a post, almost as if nothing had happened. To prosecutors, it looked like Durk was sending a message without saying it outright, using social media as both a taunt and a breadcrumb trail linking him to the crime.
Hey, somebody always said, it's laugh Khan. Somebody always said, it's laugh Khan. Well, look Khan who died over, yeah.
Durk's lawyer, Drew Finling, addressed the situation directly in an interview. When DJ Academics pressed him on whether they'd ever considered taking a plea deal, Drew was firm and clear that's not an option. He doubled down on the idea that the charges against Durk are weak and built on shaky ground. For Drew, even entertaining a plea would mean admitting to something he insists Durk didn't do. Instead, the defense is preparing to fight the case head-on, confident that the dropped evidence and questionable witness cooperation will work in Durk's favor.
You know, likelihood of a plea. I think a lot of people have seen like this seems like it's a do or die thing. This is kind of like it's gonna be like a 1 or 0 type of situation. You're either are or you're not. Is Durk, from your understanding, or you as a lawyer right now, as his criminal attorney, are you open to possible conversations about plea deals? Are you thinking, no, we're going all the way? Would you entertain it, just entertain it, because that's your job to listen to it and maybe present it to Durk, or that's just off the table?
It's a conspiracy commitment case. It's an all or nothing case, and he did not participate in a conspiracy to commit. And so there is no alternative. It's a life sentence, potential life sentence. So this case is going to go to 12 people.
Durk's legal team has made it clear their goal is to see him walk away completely innocent, and Drew Finland's confidence reflects just how strong they believe their position is. One of their key arguments centers on Durk's public statements. Prosecutors may try to use his lyrics, interviews, or even social media posts as evidence of intent, but Drew is ready to push back. The defense plans to argue that everything Durk says in music or online is protected under his First Amendment rights. To them, Durk's controversial bars and bold public image aren't confessions, they're performance, branding, and marketing meant to fuel his career. In other words, the outrageous things Durk says are just that, art, not evidence.
The First Amendment argument here, right? That this violates the First Amendment. Can you talk about that?
Right, for sure. I mean, I'm expressing myself. I can say the things that I want to say in a rap record or any kind of record. And you could go back and there's country records and there are pop records and there are R&B records that talk about all kinds of things. It's just that there's this notion that with hip hop, quote, glorifying violence, that suddenly now we're going to use these things to prosecute them. But does that mean that the free speech, First Amendment has gone away? No, absolutely not. He can absolutely rap about what he wants to rap about, and that doesn't mean just because the story is...
That doesn't mean Durk's story is over, but for the moment, things are starting to look more promising for him. Another seasoned lawyer even weighed in, suggesting Durk could be released under conditions similar to Young Thug's case. The comparison struck a chord with fans, because it shows there's precedent for high-profile rappers facing serious federal pressure to still walk out on bond. For Durk, that possibility feels closer than ever, especially with prosecutors dropping evidence and his defense team leaning on constitutional rights to dismantle the case.
We've seen it happen quite a bit. I don't know that I'd say it's been persuasive. I think the biggest example we'd look at is Young Thug down in Atlanta. They took a lot of his lyrics, and even though technically speaking, ultimately they got a conviction, he actually walked out on time served. Most of the people that were prosecuted didn't end up being convicted. And I don't think anybody would call that prosecution a successful prosecution. And so, you've got freedom of speech issues. Does it mean that just because I'm saying something in a rap song, and it typically is a rap song, does that mean that I actually did something? And this is an extra interesting twist here because Lil Durk's attorney is saying, well, this song was actually released months before.
Not to mention, one of the biggest cracks in the prosecution's case is cultural. The feds aren't deeply familiar with how rappers act, talk, or present themselves. What they often read as incriminating bravado could just be performance, a persona built for music, image, and survival in the rap game. That disconnect between street culture and the courtroom might end up weakening their case. Durk's defense will likely stress that the government is misinterpreting lyrics, posts, and behavior that are standard in hip-hop as if they're confessions to crimes. And if a jury sees that difference too, it could play heavily in Durk's favor.
And I'll go out on a limb and say that sometimes prosecutors don't necessarily understand hip-hop culture. It's almost like a text without context. So you got to really understand the time, the place, the audience. Sometimes they might speak in ways that seem direct to somebody that's outside of the culture, but doesn't necessarily, but can mean several things to someone inside the culture. So it would certainly be a flub, big time, right? But it wouldn't be the first time that such a thing has happened where somebody looking through the window, particularly of hip hop culture, doesn't understand what's being said other than their desired use of it.
The feds might not fully grasp hip-hop culture, but they do understand one thing. Connections run deep in the industry. And now, rumors of a new stitch in the works have shifted the energy around Durk's case once again. Prosecutors even delayed his potential bond hearing, buying time to gather more evidence for the next round in court. The chatter inside the courtroom is that someone new could be flipping. That speculation grew louder after the arrest of Brick Baby, which came the very same week. Alongside him, Big U, Loose Cannon, and others were all swept up in a Rollins 60s. Takedown.lawyers watching the case believe Brick Baby could be the one pressured to cooperate against Durk. The timing makes it hard to ignore his arrest aligning so closely with Durk's legal struggles. And to add to the suspicion, fans remember Brick Baby's own live stream after Lil Pab's death, where he said, "You can't say Durk didn't slide for King Von." That single line, now being revisited, paints Brick Baby as someone who knows more than he should, if the feds press him hard enough. Attorneys believe he can hand over details connecting Durk directly to Lil Pab's murder.
But was this an attempted hit? Or
Well, you can't say that no more.
Then they put you as
Why?
Like,
who died? You can't say that no more.
Oh, because of FBG Cash? Oh, who?
Federal charges in California.
Nah, because Lil Pab.
So this is about the...
Oh! What's that?
But I'm just saying, they just say you can't say that no more.
What's wild is how far the feds are willing to push the Brick Baby angle. Reports suggest they actually believe Brick Baby may have been the one to send Quando Rondo's location to Durk's team for a potential hit. The reasoning comes down to Lyric's investigators. Highlighted, told me they got an addy, they got the location. Go. Prosecutors are trying to connect that line directly to Brick Baby, arguing it points to him being the one who passed along the drop, adding fuel to the fire. Brick Baby himself once admitted that if Durk had asked him for Quando's location, he would have given it up without hesitation. That statement, whether meant as bravado or not, now looks like a dangerous piece of evidence in the government's hands, tying him closer to the alleged conspiracy.
Then it's people like, you lined up somebody from your hood. Like, listen, I didn't. But at the end of the day, what's wrong with giving my friend the address? Oh, this is my boy. He lost his boy. Who did it could be around. 9 times out of 10, had he had asked me, I probably would have been Coke if he even asked anybody, if this is even true. But 9 times out of 10, like I said, can I leak a bar?
Sure.
I said if he make the call right now, I'd something.
Right.